Day 6, the Mirror of Truth. Ethan sat across from his father in the dimly lit hospital room. The steady hum of machines filled the silence between them. His father's eyes, once sharp with wisdom, were now clouded with regret. "Son," he whispered, "I have spent a lifetime hiding truths from you, from myself. But the greatest prison is a lie we believe about ourselves." Ethan clenched his fists, years of unresolved pain bubbling beneath the surface. His father had been a hard man, distant, unreadable. Yet now, in this moment of vulnerability, Ethan saw something else, a plea, a desperate search for redemption. "Tell me the truth, then," Ethan said, his voice hoarse. His father sighed. "It's not about the words, son. It's about knowing when someone speaks from their soul. How to read anyone and uncover their true motivations." Ethan remembered a verse his mother often quoted, "For the Lord sees not as man sees, man looks on the outward appearance, but the Lord looks on the heart." 1 Samuel 16 verse 7. He realized people often reveal their truths in silence more than speech, in a slight hesitation, a shift in posture, a glance that lingers too long. He began watching his father, not just listening. The trembling of his lips before he spoke, the averted gaze when he mentioned certain memories. Ethan saw it, the guilt, the fear, the desire to make amends. Truth wasn't just in words, it was in the spaces between them. How to spot a lie and get them to reveal the truth. Ethan had learned that people will often tell the truth if given the space to do so. He softened his tone. "What do you regret the most?" His father inhaled sharply. "Not telling you I loved you. Not being there when you needed me." There was no grand confession, no shocking revelation, just a simple truth spoken from a place of deep pain. And that was the greatest revelation of all. Ethan placed his hand on his father's. "I needed to hear that. How your personality shows up in the shape of your face." Ethan looked into the mirror later that night. His father's features stared back at him, the same brow, the same hard-set jaw. He had spent his life resenting his father, only to realize he carried parts of him everywhere. A wise son makes a glad father, but a foolish man despises his mother. Proverbs 15 verse 20. Could he choose to be different? Could he take the strength his father had, but use it with love? He traced the lines of his face and made a decision. He would not live in resentment but in understanding. A miracle compound he takes to heal his brain. Forgiveness. It wasn't a pill, but it was the miracle cure his soul needed. His father passed 3 days later. Ethan didn't cry at first. Instead, he felt peace. A release from a burden he had carried for too long. Science often seeks the perfect formula to heal the body, but the soul requires something else, a renewal of the mind, Romans 12 verse 2. The greatest healing often comes not from what we take but from what we let go. How to brainwash yourself before the world does it for you. Ethan stood at the funeral, watching as people whispered about the man his father was. He realized how easily the world tries to shape our perceptions, telling us who we are, what we should believe. But he had learned a different truth. He had looked into the eyes of his father and saw a man, broken, yes, but trying. Just like him. Ethan chose to rewrite the script, to program his mind with truth rather than resentment. He whispered to himself, "I am not my past. I choose who I become." Memorable takeaway. We all carry stories we tell ourselves, about who we are, about others, about the past. But the most powerful lesson Ethan learned was this. Truth is always there if we are willing to see it. Lies only hold power if we let them. When we learn to read beyond words, when we let go of false narratives, we gain the greatest freedom, the power to rewrite our own story. The quiet voice inside. Ethan walked out into the evening air, the sun dipping below the horizon. He could feel something different, lighter, freer. For the first time in his life, he was not bound by his past. He felt a quiet voice inside him, one that had always been there but had been drowned out by anger, fear, and doubt. It whispered gently, "You are more than what has happened to you. You are more than the labels the world has given you." The feeling spread, warmth filling places he didn't even know were cold. And as he took another breath, he realized the truth had always been his to claim. And now, so is yours. Hope this brings some encouragement. Have a blessed day and be awesome in your Christian walk. May your day be more magnificent than a squirrel discovering an unlimited supply of giggles and smiles when seeing his own reflection in a pond of water on a sunny day. Latin Cross. Penned by Garry Conan Doyle. In worship of God's wonderful glory.
Hey, thanks for listening. If you're still here, something in this story or song clicked with you. So here's a little secret. When you hit thumbs up, it tells the YouTube gremlins, hey, more of this. And if you subscribe, it's like saying, yeah, I want in. So go ahead, tap like, hit subscribe, and make sure you don't miss what's next. Because this ride, it's just getting started.